there's ever been a workout that I've done that was not a bad workout, but just a waste of time. Like kind kind of something like, why did I even go into the gym today? This workout would definitely be the workout to describe it. I did absolutely nothing today. You can call it training, but this is more of a workout. This is like a lazy half-assed. I went into the gym. My body didn't want to train, and I knew my body didn't want to train. I know my hip is not recovered to its best. So, and you can also see that my form is piss poor. I was just so out of it today. The physical exhaustion of my body, along with the mental exhaustion from just it's been a long week. It really hindered my recovery this week. So, and along with the fact that I've been deadlifting every training session, sumo deadlifts. They might be light, but it is still the most taxing one of the most taxing movements you can find in your body. I went into the gym with the purpose of maybe finding a way around the hip pain today. So if you see, I'm kind of squatting on a plate, just trying to see if I can avoid the hip pain. I went as deep as my hips would pretty much let me on that, but the travel in my knees was a lot farther. So knee extension was ridiculous, hip extension not so much. I still got hip pain, because it's not just hip pain. I believe it's my rectus femoris, which is the quad head that helps pull up, like pull your leg up and extend. It helps it extending. It's not, the word's not contract. It's, I have no clue. But it's what helps you bend your knee up and down, along with your iliopsoas. So I think that muscle's strained. I think that's why it hurts more to squat than it does to deadlift. You can also see that I was arching my back for some reason. I don't even know what I was thinking, but my back was arched to a point that it shouldn't have been. I've never done that before. I don't know what the heck I was doing, but I decided to go back and fix it. Now back to what I was saying about the waste of time. Not only was the squatting a waste of time, I mean, you could look at it as like, oh, he went out and he did do some work. He did get blood in his muscle. He did strain a little bit. Because these were actually pretty hard. I forced all of the weight into my quads and nowhere else. And I kept complete control over them. But my deadlifts, I think that was the only thing that may have been a positive from today's training session. I was able to hit 365 for 5 with minimal pain. I find that I don't actually get pain while I'm doing the lift unless I mess up my form, like unless I am too far forwards. But when I stand up after the lift is when I get the most amount of pain in my hip. And it's not even my hip, it's like a quad head or a hip flexor. The sumo deadlifts were semi-successful, but I did break form a little bit on the 365 for 5. That won't happen again. I've realized that squat is the only session that I have not been able to fully complete besides deadlift. Deadlifting, though, my snatch grip deficit, I have been able to actually do the work. It's a lot harder of a movement than squat. So me even getting 2 sets of 20 is a lot more than anything else that I've done. I've also deadlifted sumo after those snatch grip deficits, which kind of makes up for those 2 missed sets because I'm pulling heavy. After the deadlifts today, I didn't even bother doing any rehabilitation work, any stretching. I'm just quite disappointed in performance today. I think if I went out and I just squatted without my feet on the plate or anything. I think it would have been cleaner. I could have done a lot better. I could have actually gotten a couple working sets in instead of just, I don't know. I don't even know what I did today with the squats. If anything, I just warmed up my quads. That's about all. Deadlifts move fine, whatever. It's a deadlift at this point. My time, I'm just trying to make sure my form is good. It's a deadlift. It's a semi-decent deadlift. I think it'll get better. Right now, I'm not worried about if my deadlift gets better or worse. I'm worried about if my hip heals or not. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to listen to my body, auto-regulating, not doing the best that I could be. I was trying to increase the weight each week for all of my lifts. And I think if I really wanted to, I could have done 365 for 5 with the deadlifts. It would have looked clean. But the problem is, it's not about looking clean. It's about what I'm feeling when I'm doing them. So instead of me pushing ridiculous amounts over what I can do safely and comfortably, I decided that I was going to get extra work in on my on my warm-up set. So I did a few extra sets on 135 and 225, and I kept the weight moving kind of slow. There's something to be said about tempo with injury. If you can use a tempo to get around an injury, do it, because it'll also make your pull stronger in the long run. I might need to go back to the drawing board with squat. I might have to completely start from the beginning. Might have to just go to 95 pounds next week, do 4 sets of 20. Week after that, 4 sets of 20 at maybe 105, 115. After that, 125 to 135. After that, 145 to 155. And just keep doing that until the pain subsides when I'm squatting. I think I've let this injury go on too long. And I think the reason it all started was because intensity was not managed when I was a sophomore. I was squatting every day, semi-close to max for reps. And I didn't even give my body a break to heal. And alongside of that, I was in a calorie deficit. So I was losing weight, squatting near my max, and swimming every single day. So I was killing myself. Do not train and do a million things in a calorie deficit. You need to set one goal at a time. So you can train and maintain while in a calorie deficit if you're swimming and doing other sports like cardiovascular. But when you are doing a cardiovascular sport to really be competitive, sometimes you gotta put a hold on what you're doing on the side. So maybe just stay at one weight for a while until you're done competing in that sport, and then when the off season comes, that's when you go for it. You really need to focus on one thing at a time because you have to be specific to what you want to do. Sumo deadlifting is not going to make me better at swimming butterfly. Conventional deadlifting, not going to make me better at swimming butterfly. Conventional deadlifting is going to make me better at conventional deadlifting and nothing else. So listen to your body. Recognize that you don't have unlimited recovery. And focus on the idea that you need to be specific to the sport that you want to do. With soccer, I could lift weights and it would semi-benefit me, right? But I wasn't lifting powerlifting weights. I was doing a little bit more hypertrophy work to help benefit what I was doing as a soccer player. I wanted to increase the size of my legs to make them more stable when I ran. I wanted to increase the strength of my legs without overtaxing my nervous system. So I did leg extensions. I did sets of 8 to 10 on squat at a probably 50% of my 1 rep max. I don't know what exactly my 1 rep max was. I did sets of 20 on leg press for endurance. I didn't do a million different heavy exercises like I would do for powerlifting because I didn't have the recovery points to spend, and I didn't have the, is the word the will? No, it's not the will. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the specificity. So I couldn't just go for powerlifting and soccer because my body would have fallen apart like it started to do with swim. That's when the hip injury began, when I would squat and swim. So as I began to come out of swim, my hip got a little bit better. But I think when I resumed squatting, I resumed too quickly and I restrained. I'm going to probably not take another week off of squatting, but next week we're going to go with a really light weight and we're going to build. The other thing that I forgot to do with this is I was not conditioned before, so I just threw myself into sets of 20. Now with bench press, it's different. Your body recovers quickly. Conventional deadlifts, I was used to doing sets of 8, not sets of 20, but sets of 8. Squats, I didn't do more than sets of 5. I couldn't, because whenever I did more than a fifth rep, my hip would hurt. So what I'm going to start doing is, as I said, I'm going to build. I didn't build with squat. I had a little bit of a foundation with bench press and deadlift because I have done 20 rep max with bench before, and I've done sets of 10 to 12 with deadlifts. Not comfortably, but I've done them. Now, when it comes to sumo deadlifts, I treated them like a squat. I was afraid to do them because they hurt my hip. Now I'm finding that as long as I keep in the groove, I don't get pain until after the rep. So what I just need to do is stay in the groove. I need to perfect my form. So it's gonna be like 315 for a really long time. But that 315 is gonna move smooth and it's gonna be comfortable every time. And then when I get to my sets of 5, I might do 365. I'm not gonna kill myself, but I'm not gonna stay at a lightweight for a set of 5 where I'm not pausing and I'm not trying to perfect technique. I'm just trying to increase the weight that I'm able to lift. Along with this, I have been eating a lot of food, so recovery should be up. Unfortunately, sleep and stress and physical fatigue have been extremely up. I will be working on those in the meantime, trying to make myself better. I will continue to be specific to what I want to do, and I'm thinking that I know that I'm going to take a break this weekend. Possibly on Monday, I will not be doing sumo deadlifts, but on Wednesday I'll do the pauses instead. I'll let you know. It's been nice narrating whatever the hell today's workout was. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching, and I'll be uploading again on Monday.